the Teaching Entrepreneur Association, and today I've got something a little bit different that I wanted to share with all of you, and that is the story behind the Teaching Entrepreneur Association. So I thought what I would do is share with you how it all came about and what it means to me, and hopefully what it will mean to you, and why I think it's so important for those of us who teach in adults, or teach adults in whatever setting that might be. So where did it all start? Well, I left school, secondary school, with very few qualifications, and some of that was down to me, but some of it wasn't. I had 4 GCSEs, or O-levels as they were then, showing my age here. So they were in English, language, maths, art and geography. So those were my 4, and I probably took 2 or 3 goes to get them. I know I did. And I came out with all C's. So I wasn't brilliant. They weren't brilliant results. I also left with the feeling that, you know, I was pretty rubbish at education and that I wouldn't amount to very much. So I went home, and my parents at the time lived in the Middle East. They were on a contract out there. So I went home to Dubai, and I was sent to a secretarial school. And we learnt shorthand and typing in Mars. I was rubbish at shorthand. I was really good at typing and computing that was coming in. It just started to come in those days. And I found that I was so good at it that people would ask me to help them out and to do that, to, you know, when they got stuck or whatever. I was the one that was always showing people how to do stuff and help them with it. And I kept getting sent on training courses to develop and what have you. Anyway, then we came back to this country, and I met my husband, and he said, before the children come along, what do you want to do career-wise? And I'm thinking, what do you mean, what do I want to do career-wise? And he said, well, is there anything you've ever wanted to do? And I said, well, I'd quite like to teach computing, because, you know, I'm not too shabby at it. And also, I mean, at the time I was working in a typing pool, so I wasn't exactly, not that there's anything wrong with typing pools, because I was in there for a long time and actually enjoyed my time there. But I wanted to do something different. So within a week he had a load of brochures from all the local colleges, and before I knew it, I had signed up and joined a college. Well, the morning of the course came. I can't tell you how terrified I was. I mean, the last time I'd been back in education, I was rubbish at it. And I'm thinking, what am I doing going to a college? Well, my hands were ringing. It was terrible. I went to the loo 13 times before I managed to get into the classroom. And eventually I sat down in the classroom, and I thought, I'm going to be the oldest person there. You know, this is for young people, not for somebody my age, and all this sort of thing. I mean, everything that you could think of that could possibly be a barrier to me getting in that classroom and learning. Never mind learning, just getting in the classroom was like too much. But anyway, eventually got in there. The teacher was lovely, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And she said to me, just before I left, she said, you ought to take this further and go to university and get a certificate in education. And I'm thinking, what? Me? So I managed to get a job teaching. I was teaching 16 to 18-year-olds who were on what was called the YTS scheme then. It was a youth training scheme, and people had to turn up, otherwise they didn't get paid, and it was a bit of a nightmare. But I did it, and I enjoyed it. And slowly I was promoted on to doing other things within that job. So while I was there, I applied to go to university, and I thought there's no way I'll ever get in, but I did. So I got into university to do a Cert Ed, and I remember going into that class thinking, what am I doing here? But the thing was that I had a little bit more confidence, and also I taught some classes of my own, and I knew how other people felt coming into my classes. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna do this. And once again, I absolutely loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I just thought it was brilliant. And because I'd done my first course, I only needed to do 1 year of my second course. And by the end of that year, I was pregnant with my first child. So I was waddling into college out here and completing my coursework and essays and everything else that we had to do. So from there, I then joined adult education and started running some classes in the evenings, which were computer based. Well, this was fine. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the classes, and for me, it was because I'd got a baby. I could go out to work for a couple of hours in the evenings. My husband would be home from his work to look after the children, because we had a couple. And I was able to go out. I wasn't anybody's mum. I wasn't my husband's wife. I was a professional in my own right, and I was earning my own money, and I just loved that. And then as they grew older, I started to teach during the day, and I ran some classes in computing, in maths, and various other subjects, and I absolutely loved it. I was then persuaded by a friend to go back to university to do my master's in education. I thought I was going along for a little course. I didn't realise I was going for that. What was I thinking? But during that time, I was also offered a job within the adult education provider as a manager, and also asked to teach on the teacher training courses that were running. And within a couple of years, I was actually running them by myself. I just loved the teacher training and supporting and developing teachers. Then shortly after I was doing that, at the same time, so everything sort of came together, private providers or companies would ask me to teach their staff how to do the teacher training courses and the awarding education and training. There was Petals then and the 7307, but those type of courses. So I was helping a lot of staff out doing those kind of courses, and started a little business on my own. But the biggest issue was I was driving up and down the country teaching these courses, and I was exhausted. And also, it was quite lonely. There wasn't anybody to share the successes with. Or, you know, when you teach and something goes really, really well, and you think, oh, who can I share that with? Or at the same time when you think, oh, that was just awful. What was I thinking? You actually get somebody else to share it with you who says, don't worry, you know, these things happen. We all have a bad class. And I just thought, what am I doing? And then I was thinking, well, there must be other teachers who feel this way. How can I help, support and develop them and keep them away from this isolation? You know, somewhere they need to be. And I'm sorry if you can hear that. It's just started to pelt down with rain. Sorry about that. But anyway, so I decided, it just came to me. I was stuck in traffic on the M40, which is a motorway in England. And I just thought, what am I going to do? So it came to me to set up a membership site where I could support, I could develop, and I could help people that were either new to teaching or had done a bit of teaching, or even those who were experienced. And because I'd set up a business and I was teaching, to try and find a way to support those that wanted to become entrepreneurial teachers, so those who wanted to set up classes of their own. So I came home and I started to build the Teaching Entrepreneur Association. And it's in its infancy, I will say. There's still an awful lot to do, and there's an awful lot to keep doing. Videos to create, workbooks to do, resources to create, but also there is a staff room there where people can share how things are going. There's an agony aunt to help. There's also a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, although I have got an open Facebook group as well for those who just want to join and have a chat without actually joining the association. We call it T because Teaching Entrepreneur Association, so TEA, cup of tea, hence what I've got here, my cup of tea. I like tea. So you can see how it all came together. From those small, tiny beginnings, I started to teach classes. I mean, right back at the beginning, I remember the first class I taught, I was terrified. I thought, what happens if they know more than me? What happens if somebody calls me out imposter, you know, and all those sorts of things. But over the years, I've realised that actually people come to you because they want to learn what you're passionate about. You know, I've taught people who teach horse riding. I've taught genealogists. I've taught nurses who wanted to teach, well, they were going to be they were midwives that wanted to teach midwifery or support the people who taught that. I've also taught a lot of fitness people who want to do gym work, teach gym and teach various different classes, aerobics and kettlebells and spin classes, all of those kind of things. I've also taught swimming teachers. I've taught knitting. Well, I haven't taught knitting. I've taught people how to teach knitting. Can't knit at all. But you can see lots and lots of different skills from languages. People who want to do languages. My last course had an Italian chap on who was going to teach Italian. There was also a chap that was teaching woodwork, interior design, sales and business skills. There's such a wide range, and if you have a passion to in any of those subjects or any other subjects, and you want to get that out there and share it with other people, then come and join T, because I'll help you with my team. We'll help support you, enabling you to become the best teacher that you could be. And I hope, well, I know that with all the resources and the workbooks and everything else that we've got on the site, it will help you to become that teacher. It's £20 a month at the moment, or £200 a year. And what does that work out to? I think we worked it out to roughly 55 pence a day, or 65 pence a day. And think now, I mean, if you have to go to college now, you've got to find babysitters, we've got to find the money to actually go to the college because it's expensive. And also you might have to take time off work to do it. Whereas with T, you can do it at any time, day or night, as much or as little as you want in one go. It will always be there for you. And I hope that this will inspire you, if you've not already started teaching, to come and join us. And for those of you who already are teaching and you want some support with things like what differentiation is, lesson plans, aims and outcomes, and all those type of things, they're all on the site. And for those of you who want to start your own classes, we've got a big module on marketing, so how to market your classes. We've got another one on venues and resources, costing your course, all sorts of different things that hopefully will help you to be where you want to be. And don't forget the staff room, where we're all there to help share and support each other. So I hope this has helped and given you, as I say, the inspiration to want to come, inspiration and motivation to want to come and join T. So I will see you next time. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and see you soon. Bye.